Okay, hey, we're back. Sorry. I think I'm going to have a hard time. I'm in a location that's really cellular feed. I'm not on a direct hard line. We're mobile today. I'm mobile today. Cross your fingers. If it freezes, it'll come back. Life of Peter G. Welcome. I'm in Pensacola, Florida. The boys gave me a few pieces of gear, gave me a hug, and said, good luck. I'm literally sitting in my parents' home. I feel like a kid again. Hell of a week. It's funny because you talk about this stuff and you talk about it a lot to other people. You see it happening and then it happens to you. And this is my second time around. First time was definitely one of the hardest days of my life, and now I'm about to go through the second hardest day of my life. Not easy. Not easy at all. My father passed. I had to jump on a plane. I was trying to get home and I just didn't make it. I'm going to take calls in a minute, but I got to set this up because this is it's a little bit Mickey Mouse, and I apologize. And number one, I don't have a bunch of screens in front of me, so I appreciate you all texting. I'll be able to get and look at those through the night and tomorrow, but I can't see a thing. I can't see it. I'm set up in a very primitive way, but I'm making this happen. So cross your fingers, the cell signal keeps going, and God bless us all. I think this is a really important thing for me, and I think because it's happening to me, we talk about what happens and has happened to you. Hang on a second. I'm going to see something. Do you want to tag? Yes, I do. All right. I'm doing this really, again, we had to figure out ways how to do this. I was not prepared, but I had to go, and we took what we could with us, and I ran. First of all, I want to thank all my people, my silent majority. I love you guys. I can't say it more than ever now. You guys are so damn quiet on this show, which I wish you were a little bit rowdier, but I'll take it. You don't show your presence. Please, I don't need, traumatic things to go wrong to know you're there. Make yourself vocal. It's important to me, it's important to this show. But I do want to thank you. The outpour of people saying, they feel for me and all that. Yesterday at 12 o'clock, I lost my dad. Now, I lost my mom 3 years ago. She made it 93. My father passed away at 92. Now, most of you will probably say, well, God, 92, that's pretty good, right? But I know that there's a whole bunch of you who've been through this, and some just recently, because it's ironic, I was writing to people who are going through this past week, and then it was my turn again. I'm officially orphaned. And it's a weird feeling because as old as I am, no matter how old I am, I still felt like my mother and my father, it was like a safety net. Even though they didn't do, I was a grown man, you still have that little piece of something there that, I don't know, to fall back on. And now it's gone. And tomorrow, today was a bitch. My head's been hurting for 3 days. My daughter and I, we flew in. It was the most ridiculous way to get here. But we flew in and we did this, and we were up really late last night in this house. It's just weird. But I got up this morning, my phone's still blowing up, and I just said today I'm not going to do anything. Tomorrow I have to start making funeral arrangements and churches and all this stuff. And today I had to focus. I wanted to get this gear up, as simple as this is. Most people said, Peter, why don't you just forget the show for a couple of weeks? Just forget it. And I said, I can't. This is so important to me. All of you are so important to me. I just can't see the not doing the show after working so hard to be every Sunday night. I want to be there for you. I want us to talk. In a minute, we're going to start taking phone calls. 818-259-7983 is going to be the number. So anyway, today I took the day just to breathe a little bit, and tomorrow starts reality. And it's going to be a shit week. There's no doubt about it. But the outpour of you people have just been phenomenal. I mean, it's just crazy. And it's funny because there's people that have come onto my page that know my father, that knew my father, and they don't even know me. But they know because he spoke of me. And it's just crazy stuff. And again, you can't live forever, and it really sucks. But I'm very thankful for a lot of things. I loved my parents very much. we're a small family, but we were a tight family. Even when we had our disagreements, there was still a certain solid that, you know, they never turned their back on me. And believe me, I did my share of fucking up. I sure did. And that's it. So the reason I'm doing this show tonight, I'm not going to talk about me so much, but the bottom line is, it's like we all have gone through this. Most people that are watching this show are on Facebook and stuff. I've lived a few years. I mean, I did have a 17-year-old caller last week that I was thrilled to have, but I didn't have it. Hang on one second. This is an honor. I got to take this. Oh, shit. I think it just hung up on you. Groucho, call me again, please. I'm sorry. My fingers numbnuts. So anyway, I did this because I know that you all go through these things and have gone through these things. It has got to be some of the toughest things in your life. And I think we should talk about it because it's life. This show is called Life of Peter G. It's about bitching about stuff, but there's even, you know, the heartfelt stuff. So that's what I want to do. Groucho, I apologize. I hung up on you by accident. Call me back, brother, and I'll take your call because I never thought you'd actually ever call me on the show, that is. So we're here. I want to take your phone calls. I want to know what's going through your heads when this has happened to you, because again, to me, it was one of the hardest days of my life. I'm getting ready to go through the second hardest day of my life. And I decided to do this show because if I didn't share my life, then I'm kind of a hypocrite. I'm asking you guys to open up and bitch about stuff, and yet I'm not going to. I mean, I'm an open book. I'm sitting here in my parents' home. This is like really funky. I mean, it's nothing, you know, from what I should be doing it, but I felt it was that important. I didn't have time to be getting it together and doing this, but I said I'm going to do this if I have to do it in the car because it's that important to me. So one thing I found when I came into my father's home, the refrigerator was pretty empty. He doesn't eat a whole lot at his age anymore. It was kind of, not that he was skinny or anything like that. He wasn't fat, but I did find 2 bottles of beer, and this is one of them. He was a simple guy, Budweiser. But I'm going to open this one beer, and if I'm still here, which I think I might be next Sunday, I'll open the other one. And I'm going to drink this beer because this was his beer. 259-7983. Why don't you call in and tell me, you know, the craziest thing is like all the people that have chimed in have been telling me, Peter, I feel you. Been there, done that. You know, I didn't make it to see my father pass, and I don't know if that was a good thing or a bad thing. I was just coming home. I just wanted to look him and talk to him, even though he wasn't conscious that much. My father died of heart failure. He had a bad valve at his age that went really bad. Again, all you guys typing, keep on typing. I'll read it tomorrow, but it's so far away from me, I can't see it. So unless you call me, whatever you're saying, God bless you, and I love you guys, and I'll answer you later. But if you want to talk to me, you need to talk to me on this phone, 818-259-7983. Anyway, my father had a hard time breathing. He didn't die of a heart attack, but his valve just closed up so badly that it couldn't push blood through, and he couldn't breathe, and he eventually just died of, I guess, cardiac arrest, I guess. The thing was, hang on, I'm going to take this. Hi, you're on with Life with Peter G. Who's this? Jeff, how are you, man? Thank you. Is something wrong with the sound, Jeff? Can you hear me okay from when you're washing? Low. Okay, I could bring it up. The thing was, I'm working with gear that I haven't worked with, and that's the thing. I wasn't set up. Hopefully that'll fix it. Marvin, somebody's texting me and saying that something's wrong with the sound. I'm having some cellular issues, but anyway, Jeff, I appreciate you calling in. Life's just a bitch. We all go through it. Thank you. Really? All right, I appreciate that. Yeah, no. enough. Yeah. Yeah. Mm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. 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 It changes the game. There's no doubt about that when you lose both. You're you're alone, kinda. You know, I have my daughter is a Gisellus and I'm a Gisellus, and that's it. I have family, but there you know, my mother's maiden name, family, and but you're alone, and it's weird. It's just a weird feeling. It's a game changer with my father passing. There's no doubt about that. This is going to change a lot of things in my life, but it is what it is. Yeah, yeah. Well, you know, Steve Lukather actually said that in one of the interviews that he's an orphan, and I never forgot it. So, yeah, yeah, it's a bitch. Uh, I got a long week ahead of me, but it is what it is. Covering is nothing. It's over here that well, I do, but it just I wish I didn't have to go do what I had to go do. You know what I mean, it's a I've had a headache for 3 days in the back of my head. It just sucks. And again, I'm not alone. Everybody's done this, and I write some long-winded things when I see people. You know, there was a couple of people just last week that a mother had passed and a father, and I wrote. You know what I mean? I totally understand, and I'm so sorry, but it doesn't change anything. And then here I am in the same boat. And let me tell you something about worrying about your parents passing. I have been worrying about this for the past 20 years. You know, just ready. A bag that has emergency papers in it. Because I'm an only son, an only child. So it was all on me. And so I always had this bag. If I had to run, all the important paperwork, all that stuff was in there. Things that, you know, I had to do. And always grabbing it. It always came back and forth to Florida with me just in case. And once again, I'm on my final now. All this paperwork and stuff is going to be worthless, not needed soon because it's over. You know, I mean, forever in my mind, in my heart, but it's over. Nah, nah. I'm sh- I'm sharing this. Yeah, I know, but well, thank you, but I don't know if it's, yeah, I don't know. Believe me, I ain't doing this because look at me and feel sorry for me. There's nothing to feel sorry for. I'm very, very blessed. I did better and lasted longer with parents that most people get a chance to. I mean, I've got so many people that lost their parents or their father or mother when they were 10 years old. And I can't even imagine that. I've been able to yell with my father up until a week ago, bitching at him because he's, you know, just because it's like the roles have reversed, you know what I mean? And you know, I wouldn't have traded it for nothing. Even though I had to take on all the responsibilities, and it was a pain, very stressful from 2,000 miles away because I didn't live here anymore. But worth again, I would do it all again. Yeah. Well, yeah. Well, I appreciate my people. Again, this show is really, it's not about me, it's about everybody sharing stuff because you're not alone. So it's really important to me that people call in and talk about their stuff. I get the ball rolling because somebody's got to. If you're not calling, it is what it is. But really, this show is going to build, and people are going to start calling. I'm not freaking Dr. Laura or all those douchebags. I'm just a guy that kind of gets it. So, sure, absolutely, absolutely. Yeah. Well, I know. Yeah, I know. And some families aren't that close, you know. And but Everybody's different, and I feel sad for the people who aren't that close. If it didn't hurt, then there's something wrong. As I tell my daughter that, because she came with me, and I put her through the funeral with my mother, and she was only 10 years old, and it sucked, But I wanted to instill that in her. That's something that she'll probably never forget her whole life. As hard as it was, she hung in there, and she stomached it, and it's just something you need to go through, because, and I told her, if you didn't love that person, it wouldn't hurt, and therefore you wouldn't give a shit. So, it's important. Yeah. Yeah. Thanks. I appreciate the phone call, and tell everybody hey from Peter. Okay? All right. Love you. See you later, bro. Bye. Anyway, again, everybody's got, when you're on this, at this age level, everybody's got, shit going on. And what are you going to do? It's life. 818-259-7983. Again, people told me that, they've gone through it, and I didn't get to see my father pass, and I didn't really want to see my father pass. I wanted to just touch my father and tell him one more time how much I loved him. But again, every time I'd leave town, I kind of got that point across, because you just never know. For all I know, I could leave and get hit by a truck. It's just the way it is. And as I was flying this incredibly stupid flight that I had to take, it took forever to get here because of spring break, and it just pissed me off. And I paid through the nose, but I got here, but I didn't make it. As we were touching down in Austin, one of the several changes we had to make, the phone rings from the hospital, and I just knew. You just kind of, your gut tells you. And that's what it was. He passed away, and that was that. And then again, some people tell me it's much better to not see that, because it has haunted some people who had to see that, because you love that person and you saw them struggle and take their last breath, and it's a tough one. And so maybe he did me a favor. I'll tell you one thing, until somebody decides to call. I'm getting a thing that says no sound for caller still. Are you not hearing? I cannot read your texts. So unless on the screen, I cannot. Volume is still. I can't see it. I'm sorry, guys. It's way on down farther. Let me see what's going on here. So, that's what I wanted to tell you. Watch party. If you give a shit about anything about what we're doing right now, you go to the share button on your thing, and you do a watch party, and that will share it. It'll say, do you want to share it? You say share, hit the watch party, and then and then it'll share it with your friends. Sorry, I'm a little getting distracted, but share the page and share it with people who you think might be worth it, because again, you don't know who is going through the same kind of stuff or just wanting to let things off their chest. This whole show really is about getting things off your chest. Again, I'm not doing direct hardline unknown. The unknown. Hi, you're on with Life with Peter G. Who's this? Hi, JD. How are you? Well, as good as you can do. As long as my mind stays off of things, I'm doing good. But I swear sometimes somebody just says the right word and I turn into a friggin' mess. What are you going to do? Of course, yeah, I'm aware. And that's why I wanted to do this, because I wanted people to talk about them, not necessarily me, but there's all different ways. The been there, done that, the gonna do that, the right in the middle of doing that. Let me ask you one quick question. I'm getting texts on my private line that the audio is not that good. What are you hearing, brother? Okay. So the caller's not being heard? You don't hear them at all? Wow, that's weird. That is very weird. Doesn't make sense. Okay. Very strange. Okay. Well, I'm having a one-sided conversation. then I'm going to put it on speaker. I'm going to do it really, really old school, but I'll do it. That means that nobody's hearing you either then, right? JD?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. Sorry, I'm going to do this really weird because I just don't understand why I can't hear it. Okay, so I apologize, guys. I thought I tested this stuff and I thought it was working properly. I had to literally, they sent a different mixer, this little mixer to get me through it, and I just, it's not like the other one, so I just couldn't figure stuff out. Apologize.
Yeah. Don't fret too much about it right now. The whole key of this is you and the rest of us kind of commiserating and trying to move on and move forward with what has to go.
Yeah, I get it.
I've had to do the same thing, so I know exactly where you're at.
That's the thing is that the show doesn't carry well with if I got callers that are willing to call and I can't and nobody can hear them. That sucks.
Right. Oh, I understand. So I maybe if hopefully somebody from your tech department out there.
There is no tech department. You're looking at them right now, dude.
No. I know that, but maybe they could call into you and maybe give you an idea of maybe where you should have it hooked up instead of maybe where you have it.
That was the problem. I jumped and ran so quick that everything was just. I'm surprised I even have what I have. I mean, it took me hours and hours to sit here and scratch my head to put this together. And that's what sucks. It is what it is.
It was, as you said, it was just because everything was on the fly, and you're trying to do your best. And again, hopefully they're out there listening to you, might want to mention it's like, hey, home back in California that's listening right now, I'm having some audio problems. Can you call me up?
They're texting me. They're just telling me that it sucks. You know what I mean? They can't. I doubt they could. It's almost like they're flying blind. They don't know what I've done here, and vice versa. But you know what? I'm gonna. What?
Can you use your camera on your phone to?
Not right now.
Beam the hookup?
No, dude, it's too late. What I did was I unplugged the friggin' thing, and the speaker is up to my microphone right now. It's really stupid, but I think it's working.
Yeah. I've got you turned down, so I can't really hear you.
Well, and the thing is, the camera is so far away from me. Normally, it's a little bit. I mean, I have monitors that I can see things, but now I only have a camera, and people, whatever you're texting and all that, I can't see it. And so, whatever's going on, it's just like, I cannot see it. So it's kind of is what it is. And I'll answer everybody later. But right now, it's just you and me.
Yeah. Well, I'm sorry that you had the layover there in Texas. I know that was real frustrating.
It's just multiple stops for nothing. I mean, if I left the day before, I still wouldn't have gotten here until Saturday. It was like 15, all the flights would have taken me 15 to 24 hours for a 6-hour fucking flight. And 4 times the amount of money for a one-way ticket.
I know.
Spring break over, and they stick it. And so I was fortunate enough just to get the 10-hour flight on the same day. And I mean, I had to get my daughter. We left at 3:30 in the morning to catch a 7:30 in the morning flight, and it just sucked. But it is what it is.
How's she holding up?
She's okay right now. I mean, we have our moments, but today we just took a breather because it's been a stressful few days, and I didn't talk to the funeral home. I didn't talk to the church or nothing. And tomorrow though, excuse me, I made a pact that tomorrow, I have to, once I'm past this show, it was very important to me to do this show, regardless. This, just not even about this, just to do the show because it's so hard to get things going, and the consistency to me is very important. But, and I had plans. I had plans of coming here in June, and, I was going to work it all out. We had all kinds of talk. We were in the preliminary of figuring it out, but all of a sudden it was a gotta go. Here, take this. I think you can do it.
Well, you're doing the best you can. Don't kick yourself in the butt because this is all on the fly. And as you said, you really needed to do this. It's the same thing that I did when both mine passed know, to kind of
It helps.
numb that.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, it gives you something to focus on besides, you know,
Gloom and doom.
Yeah, well, hey, I'm just like you. I'm a single child.
Yeah.
My mom, I didn't have any brothers or sisters growing up, so I know exactly how you feel.
Yeah.
You know, you're it now.
Yep.
And that's, but you have a daughter.
I do.
You know, and I've got my 2 kids, so we're not just it.
Yeah.
They'll carry on.
I know.
So,
I know. It's just like I said. It just feels weird. It's like it was always, even though they were just, they were old and I was carrying the ball. It still was my. They're still my parents, like my safety. That's the only way I can put it. I don't know how to put it, but.
no,
Just,
I know.
yeah.
I understand completely.
Yeah.
I totally understand. You know, that's the way it was with my family.
Yeah.
So, don't, for whatever happens through all of this and, the technical malfunctions in the show, don't let any of that crap bother you. It's not.
I just figured. Hang on a second, JD. Just hang on 1 second. I just figured out what the hell my problem is. God damn, I'm an idiot. See, this is what happens. Hang on. Just bear with me. God bless America. I'm a friggin' idiot. Hang on. I'm getting up. It really helps. This is the whole reason. Oh my God. All right. Son of a bitch. Sorry. You know what? It helps if you plug the audio wire into. I'm going to turn everything down now because now I didn't plug the main out into the friggin' camera when I was programming the camera. You're all good now. Sorry, brother. I didn't mean to interrupt you. It just hit me.
No.
Good.
You know me. It's like you got the number backwards.
Exactly. I figured that. Yeah, it took us all summer to do that, right?
Yeah, well, you got it right when you got back to California.
I tested this
you
stuff.
You guys were having fun at Nick's, and there's nothing wrong with that.
We guinea pigged.
Made it an entertaining show to me.
It was. We guinea pigged. We're a bunch of two dopes and a few people. It was fun. All right, people. I apologize. It's just not too much going on. A simple little wire change. Now we resume to regular programming. You're there. Everybody hears you now. I promise.
I'm still here. Hey, it doesn't matter. I'm calling to talk to you, brother.
I appreciate it, but when you talk to me, you're talking to everybody.
Well, if they can hear me, that's great, and if they can't, that's great too. It's just I wanted to talk to you.
It's I appreciate it. I do. I mean, everybody's been very, very, very good to me, and a lot of people. It's really weird. My father was a character. He hung out. He had a routine because he was bored, and he would go out every afternoon by 2-3 o'clock and go to these little hole bars, hole in the walls, the neighborhood bar. And he's not a heavy drinker, but he'd go have 1 or 2 beers to socialize because he is bored. He's lonely. I mean, his routines have thinned down. And just today, I got somebody who's a guest on one of the Peter G Show page. She says, "You don't know me. I'm a bartender at Sharon's Corner Bar. This is place, in Pensacola, I guess, off of Lillian Highway somewhere." And she says, "I just want you to know that we loved your dad very much, and she said we'd like for you to come down and have a beer in place of him, and we'd like to know when the funeral arrangements are." And I'm going, it just kind of takes you away because this is not the first time because he's had like this certain little location. He would jump from one place to another place to another. And anytime I'd go out and there'd be some casual conversation, somebody'd be going, "You're Peter G?" And I go, "Yeah." He goes, "I met your dad over at so-and-so's," because he was just that. It was just crazy. But and they go, "Your dad's a character."
and you get it naturally then.
Yeah. And then he talks about you all the time, and it's really weird because my father would never like talk my stuff or in front of me. He just never did. Like even years ago when I did Star Search, back in the 80s, he never said shit to me. But when I came back, I went around like he'd hang out in these bars, and sometimes I'd go in that too, and they go, "Oh, your father's so proud of you. He's always talking about this and that." And it's like he'd never say that to me. I mean, not that he was mean or anything like that, but he was just nonchalant in front of me.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, my dad was kind of like that, Finally, as he got older, he I had my kids. He kind of changed, thankfully.
Yeah.
He was a tyrant when I was growing up.
Yeah.
That's not. He was a good man in some ways, and he was not such a good guy in other ways. But he outgrew it. With age, he fortunately
mellow out.
Yeah, he turned a corner, and I think he kind of recognized the things that he may have not done right in the past when he saw me with my kids.
Yeah.
And he changed for the better.
Yeah. I've heard a lot of people tell me things like that. My dad was, tough. He was an alcoholic, but as he got older and this and that, I feel for you. Everybody's different because personally, I can't imagine how you can't love your parents. But then again, there's been some horrendous stories I've heard with people with abusive parents and all that. And I you know what? It's so sad because I don't know. I don't know any other way. I can't even imagine that. They've made me a better parent because I took what they gave me and even took it that step farther because I changed my whole career to be with that little girl,
Right.
And,
yeah.
And it pays. I mean, I've got one that I'm so friggin' happy with, but on the other hand, I've suffered in other ways. My life financially went backwards, and I'm still struggling to move forward again and get back in the driver's seat because all I've been doing is pushing the fucking bus lately.
Yep, I did the same thing. When it got to a certain point, it was all about my kids.
Yeah. Yeah, it is
when you have custody of your children. You got to be a parent. That's just all there is to it.
Some don't see it.
Huh?
Some people just don't get it, JD.
No. But my kids were most important. So that was what I did for the last 20 some odd years.
Yeah.
Is raise my kids.
That's nothing wrong with that.
Jake just graduated from college in December, and now he's out on his own, and I'm here with the cats and the dog, and I love it.
Yeah.
It's me time again.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
It's just one of those things that I think we lose track of it, as we're raising our kids.
I don't know.
But it was tough seeing both of them, leave.
Yeah.
But it was also a relief too. Well, I in terms of,
yeah,
I think I've done everything that I can for you. I'm not sure what more I can teach you about the world and about people, and I think I've taught you everything I can. It's time for you to be on your own.
Yeah.
You kick the little birdie out of the nest. That's not what I did.
I know.
But it was relief. It's like, man, you got one, I had two, man, and being a man and trying to be a mom and a dad at the same time.
Well,
I feel totally empathetic to women that have to be mom and dad.
Oh, it's a hard job. That's why I'm not a guy show. I'm about anybody who gives a shit about their kids. Because it is tough. Now, I'm a single dad, but I'm not totally a single dad. I mean, she has a mother that loves her very much, and we're very fortunate, even though we don't get along, or we stopped getting along. But, Anna gets, taken very, care of very well. I mean, we love her very much. But there's people out there that are only on their own, whether they're widowed or they have a don't give a shit, father or mother, whatever it is, and it's a bitch, and I feel for them. And that's why I started the Peter G. Show, surviving divorce and single parenting, whether it's being widowed or whatever. But that was my main thing because I realized how difficult it is. This show, I took on a little bit more broader range. It's like Life with Peter G. Let's talk about what you want to bitch about because, it's a way to connect with everybody. And we can talk about, single parenting, or we can talk about I hate my job, or we can talk about my dad just died and life sucks. And it does, but... this is why I wanted to do this. I want you guys to call in, you guys to talk. But, so far I've had to carry a lot of it because, and because you've been kind enough to call in from time to time, but I really want this show to be about people calling in. There's a million texting going on. And again, people, I apologize for me screwing the half of this part of this show up and forgetting to plug the main feed into the camera. So now we should be to where you can hear the callers and me in a much better setting.
Well, I'm glad we were able to you were able to get it fixed up. And,
yes, you made a bell go off in my head, and it's just stupid because I tested this stuff. I had somebody in Texas talking to me so I could work on making everything work, and it's pretty simple, really. But shit, I even had color coded cables that I plugged in backwards today. I mean, I'm just a freaking mess. I'm not all there.
Well, it's you're stressed, brother.
Yeah,
you're just stressed, and it's cool.
Yeah, but again, I want people to call in. What?
Yeah, it's giving you something for you to focus on.
It did.
To move through everything that you're having to deal with.
You're correct.
And that's a good thing. You got to take care of you just as much as everything else.
I know, but easier said than done. We've all been there. It's like you just got to do what you got. Believe me, I would trade. I do not want to go through all this crap. I really don't. I prefer to, but that's the way it is.
Okay, none of us do.
I know. 818-259-7983. Don't let just JD from South Florida be calling in. I want to see the phone ring. Tell me what's going on with you. I know people have lived through this stuff, and or you're getting ready to go through it, or you've been through it or going through it. It's the way it is. JD, I got somebody else. Let me take this, brother, okay?
That works, brother. You have a good night.
I love you.
Love you, and
okay.
You take care, brother.
All right, peace. Hi, you're on Peter G. Show. How's this?
Hey, Peter G. It's Astro. How you doing?
Hi, Astro.
Hey, man.
Yep,
I'm so very sorry.
Thank you. Right now it's kind of weird because all the way coming up to putting this show together today, the thought of me having to do this show, I just didn't think I would hold myself together because it's just like you talk and you say the wrong key word and you just turn into a fucking mush, I don't want to be a crying little bitch, but I don't care how old you are, this shit hurts.
Oh, it does. I've been there.
Yeah, I know. And that's why we had the little conversation. Ladies and gentlemen, I have an Astro on the phone. Not many Astros out there. And just so you know, Astro was short for AstroTurf, a different shade of green. That's back right. When we met him.
That was a long time ago.
It was a long time ago.
Green, that was new to the whole tour world.
You should be senior Astro now. You've earned your wings.
They shortened it to Stro, actually. So
Stro?
I've graduated.
Yeah. Well, that's okay. We've all kind of escalated or grown. But
well, I think we'll all be still growing for the rest of our lives.
Pretty much.
That's what life is all about, and this is. Unfortunately, and I don't know what to say. I don't have the words, my friend. But this is also growth. I mean, when my grandfather passed in 2014, he was a dad to me. Mm-hmm. He really was my whole life. My mom moved us in with him and her mom, and in his passing, I was there with him in 2014, and it was, I don't even have the word. It's one of those things it hurts to bring up even to talk about.
That's what I'm saying. Still, yeah, I know. I'm a mush. I can think about my mother, and you just start breaking down. You just do.
Right. I do too. That's part of life. But it's also, it's something I've just learned to live with. It's not a thing you get over. It's just, at the same time, I feel very blessed and lucky to his last words were, "I am safe."
Really?
I'm not kidding you. And to me, is not an easy way. He struggled with talking barely. I mean, it was a rough night. Okay. Right. But it was like his way of letting me know that it's going to be okay. And you need to go and move on. Wow. In a way. I don't know how to explain it. It wasn't easy, but, right. I think there's something in me that also has grown from that and has learned that, okay, it's going to be okay. Maybe in the next, I don't know what's next, but if,
right.
I do believe that we are here to learn. And
that's right.
It's all big growth and learning experience.
My father was I'm Greek Orthodox, and my father was super heavy duty Orthodox. I mean, I go to church when I go to church, and I go to church because I'm supposed to go to church. It's so above my head on why I'm in church and what they're saying and what they're doing. My father knew all that, the reason for every reciting of everything, and he was just heavy duty. The last of the diehard Greeks. I mean, now there's younger, everybody's younger, and it's just different. And the best thing that I think happened to him was I missed his passing, but the priest was there an hour before he died and gave him the blessing, and then he died. And
Wow.
yeah, it was kind of deep. And then after he got a phone call, somebody called him after they called me, and he turned around and went back and did it again, or whatever the ritual is. And my father would have, I think, liked that because, again, he was so hardcore religious in that manner. I mean, when I come to this house, there's friggin' little icons like paper saints and this and that. They're all over the friggin' place. I mean, you go into his bedroom, there's a little cathedral-like thing with a little light that's burning. I mean, St. Nicholas was his saint, and I don't know. I have to respect that because I do believe that there's something going on. But yet, here we are, and there's always that, you still feel bad, even though maybe they have it better than we do,
Yeah.
Your buddy, Dirk Schubert,
of course.
He chimed in the other day, and he sent me a little thing, and I wrote it down because he said, a man cannot reach. Now, he didn't write this, but somebody that he follows, because, Dirk's gotten pretty, how do you want to put it, spiritual. A man cannot reach his full potential until his father has passed on. And
yeah, I read that. I read that in your comments that Dirk left. Yes,
okay.
And that's
that's deep.
Wow, it's a powerful. It is. It's very deep. I love Dirk, man. He's amazing, and I look forward to seeing you guys, all of you guys, again soon. I've been so busy here, being a parent, almost full time. I'm not divorced. I'm married, but
I know.
my wife works full time, and I've been full time with our 3 kids. And they're little.
Yeah.
So I've had to take time off of the touring, because the kids come first right now.
Right. That's why everything changes, and that's okay.
Everything does change, but I'm on good terms, with the band and everything.
Of course, but
wonderful.
You got to do what you got to do.
They've been so gracious to me too, and understanding, and I'm very grateful for that because I also, I feel such a connection to them after 19 years.
Yeah, has it
on
been
the
that
road
long?
with them. Yeah, 19 years. I just did the 40th anniversary tour. Did the lights for them for the the DVD that's just getting released this week.
You did one of the biggest of the big,
and did the 35th anniversary lights too, which I was very proud of. And all thanks really to the band and Dirk. Dirk was the guy who pointed me out. He was up there front of house, and I'm grateful, be eternally grateful for that because it was a life-changing experience for me. Just like I hate to say it, like your grandfather leaving. It's been like I don't have him to turn to for advice now.
Sure.
I'm my own man. I have to, and I have my dad too. We get along great. Now we're on great terms these days, but that's a whole another story. But I'm my own person. I'm my dad. I'm the dad here. I'm with my 3 kids, and It's not always easy.
It was nice to have that sounding board, that person that
exactly.
Exactly.
That's where I was going. Thank you. Yeah, exactly.
I get it because I felt that immediately. It's like it's over. You know what I mean? It's over. In fact, as he got older, it's like I didn't even really tell him how I was. He wouldn't have understood the show, and to him, I'm still playing drums. It's just crazy that way.
Mm-hmm.
I got another call, Astro, and I want to take these because I don't get many callers. I love you to death, and we'll talk again. Call anytime, all right? But tonight, just let me blow through them.
Show.
All right, brother.
Keep it up, and all the best to you,
all
Peter.
Right.
Take care. Thanks. Bye.
Hi, you're on with Life of Peter G. Who's this? Shit, Groucho. Jesus Christ. I'm calling you right back. I lost him. That's the problem. I don't have a lot of phone lines. I don't. Oh, there he goes.
Another call.
Hi, Groucho, Peter G. How you doing?
I love you to death.
You got to turn that computer down. Oh, he just hung up on me. You believe that shit? This is a guy I've been begging to get on the phone because I love he's got a very certain personality, and I lost him now. I'm calling you back. Son of a bitch. I'm calling you back because I want to talk to you. We go a long way back, too. I got a lot of people I'm very thankful for who I've been touring with and just in-town fun and all that kind of stuff. But You better answer me. You called me. I bet he get aggravated because we couldn't even answer the phone. All right.
Leave a clear message, and I will call you back.
I know. I'm sorry, brother. Just getting rid of one phone. I don't have phone screeners. I'm flying blind here. This is the most Mickey Mouse. Look, call in now. Yeah. Anyway. All right. 818-259-7983. Just got off the phone with an old friend, Astro. We used to tour together a lot, and he was a great lighting director. And a lot of fun. Had a lot of times, and he lost people. Everybody's lost people. If you haven't lost a sibling or, that's the worst right there. But your parents, and you haven't gone through it, and you're going to go through it, and you have this anxiety of anticipation. Jeff called earlier saying, he knows he's got an old dad, and it's a bitch. I've been living with this stuff for years because, to me, my parents were bulletproof, endless life. But even when they were broken down and failing, I refused to think that they were going to pass. You know what I mean? You're just like, not today. Well, today comes, and it gets tough. And you just realize that, it is life really just gives you a punch in the fucking face. And you got to take it, though. That's the thing. Hang on. Hi, Life of Peter G. Who's this?
Hey, Peter. It's Greg Tringus.
Hi, Greg Tringus.
How you doing?
The famous Greg Tringus from Tringus Music, who I've known since I was 15 or years old. Very long time. How are you, buddy?
Doing good. Sorry about all this.
That's okay.
We all have to deal with it.
Yeah, I know.
When you're talking about sharing, I thought I'd just give you something a little bit that happened to our family that I don't know if I ever told you or not.
I don't think so. Go.
But we had about 4 family members die within about a 2-year time period. I had a cousin killed in a boating accident. We had another cousin that lost a baby to 6. He was 6 months old and lost him to crib death.
Great.
My father died during this period. And, I feel for you because even me trying to talk about it, it just
chokes you up.
It's still very emotional.
Sure. Years later, decades.
But what we did to get out of it is the sense of appreciation.
Yeah.
It ultimately took a while, but the logic was if we never really had these people, we wouldn't have been hurting inside.
Right.
And the idea that if we'd never had them, we wouldn't be feeling bad. So in a way, it's a double-edged sword, and that's what life's about. So,
right.
So it was tough, but we always got through it by a sense of appreciation and just being happy that we had them in the first place. And that's what we had to turn to as a family. It was really tough on us, and people do go through this. But I think that sense of appreciation is how we get out of all our negative things that happen to us in our life. So you'll start eventually reflecting on that with your father and your family of all the wonderful things that you're going to be so happy and appreciative that you had him.
Yeah. No, it is, and it is. But again, we all go through this. And it sucks. But I don't know. Again, I feel you, and that's the thing. I wanted people who understand. And even though I have a few people who don't understand watching and criticizing, and that's fine. I don't give a shit. It's like they can go get their own fucking show. It's real simple. And,
that's right.
And that's the thing. I take it, and these are it's funny because some of your closest friends I found it's the hardest because they know you too well, and it's like, oh, Peter, he's just doing that and screw this and screw that, and I get literally it's the people that don't know me that are the pretty true fans. I mean, there's a lot of silent people out there. Again, it's hard. This isn't easy. Everybody wants to be somebody. But I just decided I was going to take this out, and if you want to listen, listen. If you don't want to listen or, then don't. There's the door.
Turn it off.
Yeah, turn it off. It's like, Yeah. But if you want to bitch at me and criticize, that's fine too because you're watching.
Yeah. Well, look, we're just so. I mean, I'm proud of you. I mean, it takes effort what you're doing here, and I see that. And you're sitting there trying to plug in things, and I know you're discombobulated, but yet there you are still trying. And I got to. I mean, gosh, you talk about appreciating you. That's why I joined up tonight. Is that the idea that you're even going to do this? I had to make the effort to come into it and watch it and everything.
I
really appreciate that.
I thought I was going to be a fucking mess, to tell you the truth, because just thinking about it while I was plugging things up messed with me all day long. And again, if I'm probably still going to be here in Florida next Sunday. And if you look at this whole thing, this is the word Mickey Mouse. This is pretty riggy, but I made it. I'm still doing it, and it's not the best looking thing, but I said show must go on. I'm going to keep on doing this, and that's that. So.
Yeah, well, it's persistence.
Yeah.
It's persistence.
Yeah.
And I love you for it. I really do. I mean, this has meant a lot to me because it is reflect. It makes me. I mean, that happened to us 20 years ago with our family,
And it still chokes you up.
Yeah, it does.
Absolutely.
And when I first started, to talk to you about it, it's just. But on the same light, my God, I had my father till he was 77, 78 years old. My mother till 93.
Yeah.
I actually adopted a child who lost his a father when he was like 2 years old. He was a military pilot, and this child never even knew his father. Never got a chance to be sad about him. So that's why I tell you, it's here. You look back on that, and look how fortunate we were to have our fathers as long as we did.
Right. No, absolutely. But again, I could have gone to 150, and it would never be long enough for me. It's just the way it is.
Oh yeah,
You know?
yeah. We're now that my mother's gone too, we're orphans. I heard you say earlier, just whether you're 3 years old or 300 years old, we're orphans without our parents, and you still feel the same way.
Yeah.
It doesn't change.
No, not at all. I had somebody, and a friend of mine, he's asking me why I brought my daughter with me for this. And let me tell you, my daughter was 3 years younger when my mother passed. October will be 3 years. She was 10, and it was hard for her, you know, and I didn't force her, but I said, this is somebody who loved you more than anything in the world, and I knew it was going to burn into her brain. You know, it's a hard thing to stomach, and there was a few times where she wigged out a little bit, but she was a very brave little girl. My father used to take me to funerals when I was young. That's what the Greeks do. I don't know.
Yeah, it sure is.
You know, and
I was just about to say.
yeah, and it's what you do. And I remember my father holding me up from like the funeral home, and like from the back of the room, holding me up and saying, and this was like a Greek neighbor of somebody, and he goes, "There's Jim," you know, or this and that. And I remember it. I remember, you know, it burns it. Nothing bad though. You just life, things that you're going to have to do. And I knew she'd never forget this. And I don't want her to forget it because her grandmother was the one and only. And same with her grandfather, even though he was a character, completely different than my mother. But they both loved her. That's all we have. And that's family. So.
Well, and you're exactly right. The Greeks just it's always open casket. Typically,
yeah, it's heavy.
It's about closure.
Yeah.
With one door that shuts, God opens up another one for us.
Can only hope.
That's just the way. Like that's the way life is.
Yeah.
And you know, deep down inside, you better be glad you're feeling bad. I had a girl that I dated in right at the first of college, and this girl's father was absolutely horrible. Like you were saying earlier, an alcoholic. He was a horrible human being. There wasn't one tear at the funeral. They were glad that he left.
Isn't that sad? That's so sad. It's so sad.
So the fact that when you're feeling deep and hurting, you actually celebrate it. It's a yin and yang thing. You know, right at the moment you're feeling the worst, you can celebrate the best.
Yeah.
Of what you can remember about him.
Yeah.
And that's that double-edged sword.
Yeah. I get it.
So
I get it.
Well, God bless you.
Thank you.
I really appreciate you making this effort tonight. Like I said, it's really been wonderful for me and touching me, and that's why I want to make the effort to call in on you.
I appreciate it. I know, good or bad, next week will be part 2 because there'll be closure to all that. Not even closure, but it's after going through it. You know, right now, I haven't even talked to the funeral home yet. I mean, I got to deal with that tomorrow. I know, and they wanted. I was going to get off the plane and just go see his body, and then I thought about it. I go, why should I put myself through that?
That's right.
So.
Well, if you need anything, you know I'm here.
I will.
Let's go.
I will.
Let me know.
I will. Thank you very much. And I loved the Joe Bonamassa pictures. How did you find your place? And God, that was awesome.
Yeah, that gave me a renewal, believe it or not, even though I'm closing the business, at least temporarily, here just in about a week. I don't know if you heard that or
No,
not.
I did not. I haven't been able to see you, and I'm so sorry because life has just gotten that complicated. You know?
Yeah,
I used to try to make an effort to come out and at least just give you a hug, and I'm sorry. That's how it's been. Just these past 3 years have been nuts.
Oh yeah, I know that. Look, we were always in spirit with each other. That's all that matters. I'm I've just been so busy and kind of getting the business kind of ready to move on to the next whatever I'm going to do next. But when Joe showed up here at the store, he spent about 2 hours here. Usually those guys,
I love
they
that
come
guy.
in and yeah, he was the most professional crew. I've been around a long time, and I was on security teams back in the day in 70, 71, 72 with Zeppelin and The Who. I've been around a lot of these guys, and I've never seen a more professional group of people. There wasn't one drug backstage. There wasn't one drop of alcohol. Not that I'm a prude about any of that. It's just, I mean, they were professional. They invited me backstage and showed me. Joe gave me a personal tour of all of his 27 vintage guitars.
He's nuts with all that stuff. I see him on Instagram. I mean, I just love him to death. I think he's such a great, versatile guitarist. I really do. I wish I'd love to play with. I mean, because to me, that'd be my comfort zone. What he does.
Oh yeah.
But
there's no doubt about it. I asked him. He practices 7 to 8 hours a day.
I know he's a nut.
He couldn't stop playing while he was here in the store. he was sitting there walking around with one of the guitars I sold him, and he just kept playing it, asking me questions.
Right.
I thought he might be just getting tired and bored with me, but he just kept playing while he was talking to me. The guy was amazing.
It's freaking awesome.
Absolutely.
He really is.
Oh yeah.
So I was really glad to see that. I don't know how he seeked you out, but he does that a lot from what I can tell. He goes to a lot of places, but I'm glad he landed in yours because again, you've been around since I was a kid and managed to maintain, and you survived some of the strongest of the strong, and like I said, I gave you credit for that.
Well, it's been in the early days. Even the Eagles were one of my customers because when they were first starting up, nobody knew they were. So they would come by the store, the whole group would, and I've been able to see a lot of guys go from obscurity to fame, and really this is to see Joe go from the days where he's worked so hard. It really wasn't until about '99 when he started to take off, but he was a very humble guy.
I don't even know who he was.
Yeah, well, he I guess the way to describe it, he's not a pop musician. He's not going to sit up and figure out a pop song. He's just going to play what he wants to play. Therefore, he tends to not come on the scene so strong. He slowly and surely has come on. And
he did.
Great foundation. But to show you how humble he was, when I'm backstage during the sound check, I'm off in the shadows, and all of a sudden he calls me out onto the stage, and he starts telling my story to the band. He starts telling me how I was around Jimi Hendrix for a couple of months, and he's telling, and I'm thinking, my God, he remembered all these details. He's been in the business for 43 years. And he's going on, and then he tells his band to give me a hand and tells me to applaud me. I mean, they all start clapping, and then they all come down after their sound check's over and start introducing themselves to me and talking to me. I mean, I've never had that happen in my life. And I've been around a lot of the greats in the business.
He seems like a real normal, very talented, cool guy. That's all I can say.
Yeah, it brought tears to my eyes. I mean, I was in shock that they gave me, kudos. They kind of made me the star that night.
Yeah.
And that really, I've never seen anything like it before.
Awesome.
So that was a great experience for me.
Well, again, I like the guy. I'm glad he ended up in your store. And again, I've always thought you had you guys when you had the small, just guitars and violins and all that kind of stuff. That was your niche, and I've been a fan ever since. And so, God bless you. And I appreciate you.
When I talk about and I appreciate that, Peter. I'm thinking about when I talk about moving on. I've even dropped it into their ear that I'd like to try to join up on their tour.
You say that now until you start touring. It takes a lot out of you.
Well, I did it a long time ago.
I know.
I mean, not to make it but just maybe on one of the tours. They don't got to pay me. I'll just join up and do what they want me to do. I could back up the guitar tech.
Yeah.
I could do whatever.
Yeah.
The security, because I was on security teams in the early days.
Yeah.
So I really would like the experience of just doing it for one more time, I guess, before I get too old to do it.
Sure. I mean, believe me, I loved it and all, but the traveling was the grueling. I don't sleep well on planes, and I earned my money there. Otherwise, the rest of the shit was all, I loved it. I really do, and I miss it. But I stopped for a little cause that to raise.
Oh yeah.
And now here I sit in this situation, and I will not stop doing this until it goes to streaming network. And I swear on my mother that I will not stop doing this because I'm watching. What was the name of the game show? There was a production company. They just on my LinkedIn. It's just funny because there's all these. There's all these people watching, but nobody's pulling the friggin' trigger. And it's like, okay, I'm just going to keep on going, and eventually I just need one. But it was a not Mark Gibson production. oh God, it was the Wink Martindale Productions. I didn't even know they still exist, but apparently, God, see, this is not my shit, and I keep hitting it. Apparently, the vice president is a Martindale, and it was a woman, and she friended me on the LinkedIn, and so she's watching, and I'm going, okay. And that's how I know that there's people paying attention. But I just need somebody to say, yes, I believe in you. I think we can do something, or, whatever. But until then, I'll just keep doing this.
Well, like I said, I think your persistence has been amazing. Just keep at it, and that's I just, like I said, I've admired you. You don't always, success isn't always based on the fact of how many people follow you and how much money you make and all. It's just if you're doing what you love to do, you're bringing up your child. Yeah. I mean, that's what it takes.
Well, I want to bring my child doesn't understand what I'm doing, and I want her to say, like, you know what, I'm crazy like a fox. I mean, they said I couldn't do this shit, and I said, you're wrong. I'm going to do this shit, and I'm gonna, and I'm doing it. But it's just I want to take it to the next level. It's like everything we do. I have a very small crew. I had to downsize because my other shows were taking too much money, and again, I apologize. I didn't even mention, I don't even my sponsor. I left so quickly. There was no Bolt Energy anything tonight, and I'm totally forgotten because I'm so enthralled with all this, but I'm very thankful for even an energy drink that believed in me. Bolt Energy, they're a new drink, but they believe enough in me to help me out, to even let me do this stuff. So one step at a time, but I need to kind of hurry up because I'm burning daylight.
Yeah. But really, in reality, you do look at a lot of these people that took so many years to get successful, just like Joe B. I mean, he'd been playing with B.B. King when he was 13 years old. I mean, and it took him all the way to 1999 before he finally, got into the mode of saying that he was being successful.
Right.
So, it just sometimes it takes a long time. You just never know. But no, that doesn't tell you. You shouldn't back off and say, well, I've got to slide through this. I mean, you've got to start beating down the door and I'll just, I'm getting the fact that I was so busy in my life. One of the reasons I decided to kind of shut the store down was that life has just gotten so busy. I haven't been able to do anything.
Right.
I get home, even now I'm at the store tonight, not working. So it's taken up too much of my time. This has become kind of a elephant on me, and I'd like to just start joining up. I can watch your show now more often, and participate and start enjoying life a little bit.
You were always working the internet late at night. I'd see you. You were burning midnight, daylight, all the light to stay in business. It was a struggle and a fight, but you did it.
Yeah, well. And that's, and I've been very blessed, though. My gosh, since I was 19 years old, I've been able to repair musical instruments and stringed instruments for, almost 50 years, 48 years.
And damn good at it.
Well, and that was God's gift to me.
Yeah.
I'm actually an average musician. Even though I played in the symphony as a string bass player, I've been around a lot of the greats in the business.
Yeah.
It was just that I knew I was around too many greats to understand that wasn't my talent.
Right.
As much as I would try. But boy, when I started touching stringed instruments, it just took off. And so God gives us each a talent, and I just happened to have lucked in on mine. And like I said, what a lucky guy to be able to do this for 48 years.
But at least you realized it. You realized, like, I've known musicians, like, they knew that they were like, I love it, but I'm not as good as it need be, and you found your niche, and you did it, and you did it well, and that's how I know you, and, so it's been a long...
that was God... that's God's gift to me, though. I have to humbly accept the fact that I had that gift.
Yeah.
And I was humbled even further when one day I said, well, I'll give myself credit for the hard work. And the guy looked at me and said, well, God didn't give you your health and your arms and, the breath for you to do this. You wouldn't have still been able to do it. That's God's gift to you, too. So we have to be thankful to God, to in my opinion, to move forward and to understand that we have to be humble about our gifts instead of saying, look what I did.
Yeah.
This is what God has helped us do.
Well, I don't know.
I think that...
I'll take it. Every day we can get up, and as long as you get up and try. I have these people. This is what bugs me so much. I see people who start out on something, and if you watch them enough on my LinkedIn accounts or this and that, I watch people because it's like, who's going for it? And then you just watch them slowly start to fade. And I said, I'm not going to be that guy. I'm not going to be that guy. It took me years to figure this. Maybe I had to go through the hell I went through to get to where I'm going. I wish it was a little bit sooner, but maybe this is where I'm supposed to be, and I just didn't know it. But my father always used to say to people when I'd be doing something for him with social workers or for Council on the Aging, and he'd just be in his own little world, and then he'd stick up and he'd put his hand, he goes, "My son is a good speaker," and just in his own smart-ass kind of way. But, I'm not a good speaker. I'm just straight up, I'm going to talk from the heart, and it is what it is, and either you like me or you don't. I mean, that's all there is to it. And if you don't like me, there's the door.
I know, and you're not going to ever have everybody like you. I mean, or even I don't know. You're doing the right thing. You be who you are, and that's your market. That's who people who you want to come like to your if you're playing music.
Yeah.
You don't want people who want to see bluegrass come to see you if you're playing rock.
Right.
So you be who you are, and that's what Joe B's done. That's why I think it kind of was enlightening to me. He just absolutely said, I'm not going to sit there and worry about pop songs. I'm going to play what I feel like playing, and people can, if they like it, they'll come, and that's what happened to him.
Right.
So that's just keep going, my brother. I'm telling you.
I'm going. I don't know who else to be. It's real simple. I don't know who else to be. I'm not a good phony. I don't smile when I don't feel like smiling, and I'm just a bad faker. I could never be an actor. I'm pretty friggin' real. I mean, really, you get what you get with me, and either you respect that or not. I mean, most of the time it's pretty good, I think. I'm not, total asshole, but I mean, I am who I am. So either you love me or hate me or whatever. I'm very fortunate. I think, life has been pretty good to me. And when you have no idea all the people who have like anything you need, Peter, if you need anything. Not that I do, because at this point in time with the situation with my father, it's like, what do I need? I need a lot of money. But, money helps, just ease things being taken care of. But as for taking care of things, there's really nothing anybody can do. But they all reached out and said, anything you need, man, if you need anything. People that are even worse shape than they can't take care of themselves. And they're going, I loved your dad or this and that. And if you need anything, I can do for you. And that's when you know that all these people come out of the woodwork, and you go, well, maybe I didn't do too bad of a job. I mean, being a friend or being a person or whatever it is. I don't know. I'm just being me. I try not to hurt.
That's right. I mean, no, you hit the nail on the head. I mean, you what you see is what you get. I mean, my brother is even more so than I am. It's just he's going to tell you exactly what he thinks and do it in a respectful way. But he'll never talk about you behind your back. He'll tell you right to your face what he's thinking, and that's more real. And I think that's if you're up here in front of people and you're sitting there having this show, you got to be real, and that's exactly what you are. You try to be anything else, and I don't think you will make it.
Right. Well, this is where I'm at. This is what's happening with me. I'm doing this show. I decided to do it and talk about it because this is life. Because as I watch people telling me how they've been through it, I go, you know what? I'm going to talk about this. And so far, so good. I haven't fallen apart because I swear to God, I thought it was going to. I said, this is going to be a mess. But I'm going to do this. And next week, I'll probably do it again because I'm going to be right here. And then we'll move on and we'll go back to everything else. But, the hardest part is getting people to call in and, to this show or this incident has brought people even like you out to make the effort to come in, and I appreciate that. I really do.
Well, and that's exactly the reverse. Again, there's the yin and the yang. I mean, you did something for us out here and reached out, and it touched me, and you're right. I mean, it's helped me tremendously. So, I mean, that's what it's all about, the human relations that we have. I mean, we're going to, like a leaf falling off a tree, we're going to have our loved ones pass away. But yeah, what we're doing now and exchanging things and inspiring people, I mean, gosh, you're on the right track, and I love you for it, too. And your effort tonight was just so amazing to me that you're sitting here doing this. It's been amazing.
I don't know. I'll take it, but I'm telling you, all I want to do is bring people into this show, and because there's a big world out there, and I haven't even scratched the surface yet, but I got to take it to a bigger level. I need, somebody to help me because I do there's no pre-planning. Everything I do, I scratch down on paper, and it's all in my head. And to carry it, even for an hour, if nobody's calling in, it's really hard to talk for an hour. And again, even though I have a few smart-ass friends that are just, giving me shit about stuff, but, I'm fine with that because, again, all I can say is you come on and let me see you do this because you can't. You can't. Yeah.
That's right.
So I'm all right with that. Like I said, I got big balls because I believe in what I'm doing. And that's the thing. I truly believe in what I'm doing. I know that there's people out there. If I don't even I'm saying help people, but I'm just sharing things to make them see within their own self. There's so many people that start telling me things that answer their own questions, and all I'm doing is pointing it out. And I feel good about it. That's it. I just feel good about it because everybody. My biggest point for my show is you're not alone, and that's the only way I can put everything I do. You're not alone, and that's important to me.
Point.
Because there are people who are very alone. I found out going through all the divorce and crap that I went through that, I thought it was just me. Why me? Why me? Why me? It was, and then the minute you tell something, they go, oh man. The minute I tell people what I do, they go, oh, my brother-in-law or this or me or that. Everybody's got shit on their plate. Everybody.
Yeah.
So.
But, I think it's too much what happens to us is that we start getting so overwhelmed with life, we forget about this, what I first brought up the point about appreciation. It so gets me out of so much. It's just the idea of be thankful. Yeah. Thankful that I wake up every day that I count on my hands. Do we have food on the table? Yeah. Are my children healthy? Are the bills paid? Man, if I can answer those questions, life is downhill after that. And I think the problem is we have built up so much expectation.
Of course.
That life's got to be so perfect that it really overwhelms us. And I just think I've always been able to appreciate these small things, and that helps me understand where I'm at. It gives me perspective.
Oh, absolutely. And again, I try to keep thinking, well, you know what? I'm pretty healthy. I'm gaining weight. I'm eating lately. Life is just because I'm just all over the place. But I'm not a big fat ass. But I could be better. I want to be better. But I'm still not bad. And be thankful for. Okay, I don't have enough money, in my opinion. Because I'm struggling to just keep everything going. And now taking on this, but I'm thankful because so far I've made it. I bitch and complain about it a lot, but I do it just to let the steam valve off. That's why I like doing this, because you got to let it out. If you keep it in with inside, you die from the inside. You'll destroy your body and your mind. I've been there, unfortunately.
Well, you said it earlier. It's the nature of us as Greeks. We're going to be very verbose. We're going to talk about things and let it out and be real. And I think that's our culture.
Is it? I don't know.
Yeah.
People.
I think.
Go ahead.
Well, I was going to say, I just think it is in the sense of how we grew up. Like you said, your father's showing you the caskets. And, it was a very open kind of culture in that sense. Now, you were talking about the younger generation. Yeah, maybe that's true. Maybe it's not true, but definitely from our generation and our parents' generation, there was a very, very, they always kicked up, had fun and parties, and they never, I saw people drink when I was growing up, but I never really saw any Greeks that were drunks. They just knew how to have fun and enjoy life, and I think that's a lot of what I picked up on growing up in this kind of culture that we grew up in. We all had those different experiences, but it's really, like I say, I've just been so thankful that just the idea that we've lived this long, we're in fairly, like you say, fairly good health, and that we've had the parents as long as we did. Gosh, it's really amazing because, like you said earlier, a lot of people don't have that, or like my adopted son didn't have it. He lost his father young, so there's a lot to be thankful for at the moment of feeling bad like you are, but you have to go through it.
Yeah.
There's no other option.
No doubt. Again, what doesn't kill you, I guess, makes you stronger, but it sucks.
It does. Yeah. But like I said, if you hadn't had him, if you had never known him, you would be feeling like this, would you?
Absolutely. No regrets. No regrets. It just hurts. That's all.
Yeah, of course. Of course. And it should.
Yeah,
it should. Like I said, it kind of freaked me out when I saw that girl's family that could just glad the guy died. Boy, you talk about getting shocked.
I've seen that too. It's sad.
Yeah,
it's sad.
That's really sad. So God bless you, my friend. I don't want to keep you too long.
You know what? I haven't seen you in a long time, so I'm glad we caught up. You got 27 minutes of and I'm glad that we did this because again, whatever. I hope I can see you and give you a hug sometime soon.
Right. And are y'all holding the funeral here in Pensacola?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Soon.
I'll try to hook up. Are y'all going to announce it in the paper?
My father and my mother, both when they passed, they said, we don't want no big pictures. We don't want, it's going to be one of those little 1-inch, George Zealous, whatever it is, and I'll tell them tomorrow. But I'm assuming it's going to be this. I'm hoping towards the end of the week because I don't have time. I got things that have to get together right now. I feel so uncertain, so unorganized or whatever. Even though it's kind of already been planned. Paid for and this kind of stuff. But there's so much crap that it's just because you don't do it every day, and so it just gets you. But yes,
Oh, yeah.
it will be this week. But again, that's funny though. Is again, when I see people here that I don't normally see, and I get around this town a lot. I spend a lot of time out. I try to go and say hello as much as possible. But the funeral, when my mother came, I saw people I never see. Like even cousins. They came out, and it's just sad that we have to see each other under those circumstances. But I'll take it.
Well,
You know,
it is. It's one way our loved ones bring us together.
Yeah,
so,
pretty much.
Again, something
Wedding-
something else to celebrate.
weddings and funerals, I guess. But I don't even go to that many weddings. There's not that many anymore. There's a lot more funerals.
Yeah, yeah,
Sucks.
yeah. I know. That's the nature of life. It starts taking more than giving.
Yep, pretty much. All right.
All right. God bless you, my friend.
Thank you. Thank you very
Love
much.
you.
I love you too. See you later.
All right. Bye bye.
Greg Tringus from Tringus Music in Pensacola, Florida, an extraordinary stringed instrument repair. I mean, just pretty much top of the heap. Just been around a long time and really good at what he does. And don't get to see him or talk to him very much because, again, we're all traveling in different circles nowadays. But he did call in. Somebody who, again, my silent majority, people who kind of are around, but they don't follow, and it's hard. And sometimes the show's late on the East Coast. It's after midnight. It's almost 1 o'clock in the morning right now. I had to decide when to do this show, and 8:30 in California, great. 10:30 in the Central Zone, which I'm in right now, and it is almost 10 to midnight right now, and I'm going over the time. We're officially almost an hour and a half, and I don't care. I can do what I want. I just felt it necessary, and because I see that there's people that don't normally come on, and I truly appreciate you, including my one close friend who's heckling the shit out of me, and that's okay. And I missed his phone call so many times because of things, so he's all super pissed off. But that's okay too. We'll all get over it. I got a lot of beautiful fans and people that have been, paying attention and watching, and I want to just tell you how much I appreciate all of you. Not so many jokes tonight. A little bit different, but again, you just don't know what you're going to get, and even the normal shows. I'm going to start having topics as things build up, but pretty much I want to hear what's on your mind. And 818-259-7983 is always going to be the number that you can call on a Sunday night until somebody takes me to a different venue. I said I'm going to do this, and again on Facebook, not been done. It's like, who does this steadily besides going live sporadically here and there? And I just said, I'm going to turn this into a friggin' TV channel. If you want to tune in, you can tune in. If you don't, I'm cool with that. Totally okay. But I love you for it. I want to shut it down here soon, but again, 818-259-7983. Don't be shy. If there's anything on your mind, you want to share something or say something, now's the time to do it. Because again, what you're saying is not just to me, it's to a lot of people who are quietly out there watching. And just because my father passed, and I'm not using this as a, be sorry for me. I'm using it as an example of, because we've all lived it, and I know I can see, I really can't see the screen because I only got one and it's way far away from me, but a lot of people were texting and saying, I'm going to have to read all that later, but this stuff happens. It's life, and that's why this show is called Life with Peter G. We'll talk about anything, and this is the hard stuff, and one thing I am a little proud of myself is I didn't fall to pieces, because I'm telling you, just the thought of what goes on, and even of this or what I got to do, just crack. It just messes me up. It just messes up my head. I'm a man, but I'm a man with a heart, and love is a really, really strong and painful drug. It could be wonderful, but it could also be very hurtful. And when you love somebody and you lose somebody, it hurts. So. 818-259-7983. If you got something to say, now's the time to say it, because I've gone way over time, but I'll stay because I can do whatever I want to my show until they start telling me differently. I do want to thank Bolt Energy. I have nothing here. I didn't even bring any. It was too quick. Bolt Energy, no preservatives. I have nothing to even show you. That sucks. No preservatives, and it's enriched with vitamins and antioxidants. It's a cleaner energy drink, and I love these guys for sponsoring me, for helping me to do this stuff. I just had to up and run so quickly, and they're in Mexico right now, vacationing.
So I just we just didn't have time. And again, when my father, they told me you better come, I just ran and lucky enough to get this stuff. The TSA had a shit fit with all this electronic wires and stuff that was in my carry-on because I didn't want to put it under the plane. And they friggin' went and they got pissed off at me actually because I took out computers and this and that, but there was just too much stuff. And then they took it and ran it back and made me unpack the whole friggin' bag. I couldn't figure out how to pack it again because I was Pacolini. I did it perfectly. I fit 20 pounds of shit into a 10-pound bag to try to make this show because it's important to me. And I'm going to do this every friggin' week, every Sunday. 8:30 Pacific, 10:30 Central, and 11:30 on the East Coast. We're talking about what you want to talk about, life. What's bugging you, my ex, my job, my back, so-and-so's nuts, whatever. But, it's your show, really. It really is. I don't want to be sitting here talking all, but I will because I can until you. It takes a lot of guts to call in. It really does. A lot of people type in and say, hey, man, we're here and love you and this and that, but I need you to call in. You can call in and tell me that. Let everybody else know that you're here. Because, again, I know it's the craziest thing with this show is that there's all these people that watch, but I don't know they're watching because they're real quiet. They're like the guy in the back of the room. Now, I can't say much because I was always the guy in the back of the room too. But I need you. I need you to show these people that there are people that give a shit. And we are doing something right. And I will continue to do something right because that's who I am. Good or bad, again, if you don't like it, the beauty of this whole thing is you can just leave. But if you dig it, you stay. Check it out every Sunday night. There's something out there. It's all good. Here. This is going to be really interesting. So get a beer. This is going to be the big one. Hi, Life of Peter G. Who's this? And he hung up. That's great. It was going to be interesting. Don't tell me that I did something wrong this time because he's been trying to call a bunch. I was getting ready to get a load full. But either way, okay, that was going to be a good one. I was about to get I was getting my cup on because I knew that it was going to be interesting. All right, 818-259-7983. I thank all of you for tuning in, and I thank all of you for chiming in these past 4 days and reaching out to me and offering your condolences and all that kind of stuff. Again, right now I can deal with it, but again, we're all vulnerable. We all have, soft spots, and it's going to be a shit week. And I'll be back on next Sunday, whether I'm here. I'm pretty sure I'll still be in Florida, but if I'm not, I'll be back in LA, and we'll be back in our normal setting in undisclosed location in Burbank, California. But and then we'll be doing our thing again. And what we talk about, I may talk about this again, okay? But if I do, it's because it's a reason for it. There's more stuff to talk about. And then we move on. That's the whole thing about life. We move on. Go through your shit. We talk about it. We let it out, and then we move on. But it's I'm going to wrap this up. I got 6 more minutes to make it an hour and a half show, and that's what we'll do unless you got something to say. And again, I apologize for the first half of the show. The one main wire, that's like having a PA system, and you forget to plug in the main wire. And that's what I did. Because of the way I'm set up, I got so much shit. It's like spaghetti over here, and I didn't plug it in. So you didn't get to hear the first couple of calls, and I apologize. In fact, even my audio was just not happening because of the one little wire, that one itsy-bitsy wire. That's why I give the Super Bowl a lot of credit. When they roll all that stuff on during halftime, there's gazillion multi-pins, and they're rolling out staging in 6 minutes, and it all has to work. And if one bad pin doesn't work, everything goes to shit. I mean, it has to work because there's no taking it back. And I give those guys a lot of credit when they do that stuff. Even if you don't like the halftime performance, just the audio alone, there's so much shit to go wrong. Hang on one second. I got a caller. Hi, Life of Peter G. Who's this?
Okay, Peter G., this is New York Nick.
New York Nick, how are you, brother?
I'm doing fine, but I'm not your father. I'm not your guidance counselor. I'm not your priest, but I'm wondering why you're on the air when you really shouldn't be for at least another week or two.
You know what? I had that brought up to me, and the reason I'm doing this is because show must go on.
The show must go on, but you know, Peter,
I'm listening.
you know, I'm speechless because, you know, I'm still waiting to get that same phone call that you got and hope that I can get home in time for the same reasons. And mine is 91.
Right.
And, you know, there's no set time for grieving. There's no set time for a celebration of life where the show must go on. But I know you, and I know what you probably shouldn't be doing tonight. And far be it from me to tell you what to do and how to do it. I know that as well.
Well, here's the deal. I thought about it. And 3 years ago, when my mother passed away, I got the call at 2:00 in the morning, right before we were getting ready to film for what we were doing, the biggest thing that I had been doing. I had 6 guests lined up, multi-camera stuff, and it was the first time we were doing it at that level. And I thought about it, and I was a mess. At 2:00 in the morning, I'm crying like a baby. And at 7:00 in the morning, I had to be out the door. And I thought about it. And it took us 6 months to set up what we were doing for the first start. We were just starting out this show, and I had people that were going to be there. And I thought about it, and I just said, if I don't do it, what good is it going to change what has happened? I'm going to sit home and just keep thinking about what's happening. This is actually taking my mind off of it. Even though we're talking about it, it's lightening me up. I honestly feel better. I'm going to be crying later. Trust me. Trust me.
You know yourself better than I do, but I feel like I do know yourself.
You do, and I believe me, I love my father, and you know, more than anything. But I mean, there was nothing I was going to be doing at 11:30 at night right now. And I wanted to share this because I got so many people that were pouring in telling me about, hey, man, I've been there. And, you know, I missed my father passing. But there was people that were telling me, you know what, maybe you dodged a bullet because it has scarred me for life watching my father or my mother take their last breath. And so I'm sharing this because, it's only because we need to talk about this stuff. It's in this Facebook genre, most people are our age. And we're all kind of on that step. You know, almost there, been there, done that, gonna do it again. This is the second hardest thing I'm gonna do in my life, brother. Second hardest thing.
Okay. I know you're up against it. I just wanted to touch base with you.
I'm good.
I've been following, and God bless you, because like I said, I know that the same call is going to come, and I'm going to be pretty much probably in the same boat you are, trying to get across country.
It's a mess, and you'll be a mess. But here's the thing. I've worked so fucking hard to get to even where I'm at right now. And the thing is, there's no forgiving. Like they said, they tell me, they go, dude, why don't you just take a couple of weeks off? I go, I'm barely getting this boat rolling, and I'm going to stop? Just give me some fucking gear, and I put it together. I'm doing nothing at 11:30 at night, and everything's going to stay the same now. I mean, my father, unfortunately, is not going anywhere. It's like the minute I got the call that I missed his passing, time slowed down. Even though it's going to suck, my rush stopped. And I took today to just breathe, and this is making me breathe. Because tomorrow, reality hits real hard. I got to talk to the churches. I got to talk to the funeral homes. I got to even get him clothes. I mean, just crap I don't want to do, but I got to do it.
Listen. Be strong. Do what you do best. Stay in touch. There's nothing I can do. Everybody's an individual when it comes to something like this.
Sure.
So God bless you. I'm thinking of you.
Yeah.
I'm glad I caught you right at the end. We've been a little extra busy. I know it doesn't matter to you, but I knew you were coming on tonight, and every Sunday I know I've got something to do late.
Yeah, and next Sundays, I don't think, look, I can pretty much almost tell you next Sunday will be just like this Sunday, only different. So if that makes any sense.
If I knew the future, I'd pick 6 out of 54 numbers and win the lottery.
There
So
you
you don't know what that
There you go.
would bring.
And
God bless you.
If I'm lucky enough, I'll be able to stop and have a drink in your bar. But I don't know. Time is like, I got my daughter here. She starts school tomorrow, and she's going to be here for a week plus, and that's just the way it is because you can't take this.
One week at a time.
Yeah.
One day at a time, my brother. One day at a time. Go do what you do best. You're up against it, and sign off.
I am. Love you.
Okay, boss. Bye.
All right, see you later. The infamous New York Nick. I literally guinea pigged, starting this Facebook Live stuff last July in his studio that he has in his New York Knicks Badlands roadside bar, and I just had this idea, and every time I come into Pensacola, I go, I got this idea, and I go in there, and he looks at me like I'm friggin' out of my mind, but he plays along, and it opened up the door to bring me to where I'm at now, which wherever that is. But this is why we're doing what we're doing. All right, it's 12:01. 818-259-7983. I doubt, again, everybody's very late. People are, I know people have to get up and things like that, but we took it 30 minutes over. I appreciate all you people. I love everybody for, again, being so cool with me and reaching out. My phone's been blowing up in the texts because I have 3 different pages, and everybody I know, just taking the time to say I'm sorry or whatever, it takes time. And some people really would type something in there and deeper and explain. So I appreciate that. And again, I'm doing this because I'm doing this not only for me. I think some way, shape, or form I'm doing it for you too. And I know I have the small percentage who think I'm just a blowhard and they want to break my balls, but they're still watching. And that's what just amazes me. But anyway, all right, we're going to sign off. Thank you for putting up with my little Mickey Mouse setup this time, but it's working. It only took me 20 minutes for the show to figure out why I didn't have things going. I apologize. Next Sunday, and every Sunday, 8:30 Pacific, 10:30 Central, and 11:30 Eastern, the Peter G Show, Life of Peter G, will be on. I will have done what I had to do, and I'm going to recap just to piss off my couple of people that are just pissed off at me talking about this. But there's way more people that give a shit about this, and that's all that matters to me. So shut the fuck up already. See what I mean? But you're still watching. Still watching. I'm going to go now, and see? Still watching after all these years. Anyway, I love you guys very much, and get your own show if you don't like it. But that's what friends are for. So anyway, all right, I love you guys. Peace out. We'll talk to you during the week. And next Sunday, do me a favor and just be here. And do me a favor, and if you're going to be here, call and talk to me. I don't care. Just say something, even the one who wants to break my balls. But I can take it. I got my cup. Titanium. All right, love you guys. Peace out.
Peter G Show, Peter G Show, Peter G Show, Peter G Show. Divorced dad, single